Hi everyone, in today's lesson we're going to graph a basic cos function in the form a cos bx. Again, where a is our amplitude and b is our cycles. Just to refresh, amplitude is the distance between the midline and the max or min value, and since distance is always positive, we denote amplitude as the absolute value of a. B is our cycles. It just tells us how many complete rotations we will see between 0 and 2 pi. Period is how long it takes the graph to complete one rotation. We can calculate that by finding 2 pi over b, where b is our cycles. And our interval is the scale of the x-axis, or in other words, what we count by. And that can be found by taking the period and dividing it by 4. Now, these four main components help us graph. So, example number 1 says graph 2 cycles of 4 cos 2x. All right, so the first thing I want to do is recognize that there's a plus 0 here, which means my midline is going to be at the line y equals 0. Second thing is, because it says 2 cycles, I want to graph a sketch of what a positive, because the 4 is positive, I want to sketch a positive cos graph over here just to see what it looks like. So we know that cos starts at the max, then it goes down, down, up, up. So one cycle looks like that. If we keep going, down, down, up, up, that's one more cycle here. So we need to figure out how many tick marks we need. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So let's keep that in mind when we do the ACPI. So A is the absolute value of the number in front. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. Since there is no vertical shift, we can go ahead and put 4 and negative 4. B is my cycles, so that's my C, which is 2. P is my period, which is 2 pi over B, where B is the number of cycles. So 2 pi over 2 reduces to pi. And the interval is period divided by 4. So my period is pi, and we divide that by 4. So we need to count by fourths. And we said before here we needed 8 tick marks. So let's count 8 times. So we've got 1/4 pi, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, and 8/4. Now you can simplify these if you'd like. Any of them that can. Like I know this one can be pi over 2. This one can reduce to pi. This one can reduce to 3 pi over 2. And this one can reduce to 2 pi. So feel free to use the simplified ones or not. The choice is yours. But we need 8 tick marks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to go ahead and put these values again. Pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, pi, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, and 2 pi. So again, we're graphing a positive cos graph. So we're going to start up at the maximum, and we're going to follow each tick mark. So maximum, down, down. So down, down, then up, up, right? Up, up. And we just keep going. Down, down, up, up. And we connect. One cycle, 2 cycles. Now you can always check your definitions to make sure what you did works. Cycles is how many rotations you'll see between 0 and 2 pi. So since I have 2 cycles, I should see 2 full rotations between 0 and 2 pi. I do. Period of pi means I should see 1 cycle from 0 to pi, which I do. So all the definitions check out. All right, let's try another one. Okay, so this one asks us to graph a negative cos, negative 2 cos 3 over 2x, over the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So let's first graph one cycle of a negative cos. Remember, negative cos starts at the minimum and goes up, up, down, down. Looks like a mountain. So these are the points that we need. So first we need our A, our C, our P, and our I. So A is the absolute value of the number in front. So the absolute value of 2, negative 2, is 2. C is my cycles, which is the B value, which is the number in front of the X, which is 3 over 2. And our period is defined by taking 2 pi and dividing it by B, where B is our cycles. So 2 pi divided by 3 halves. So remember, whenever I'm dividing fractions, we need to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 2 pi, make it 2 pi over 1 so it's easier, change the division to a multiplication, and then flip. And then we multiply straight across. So 4 pi over 3. 2 with 2, 3 with 3. And then our interval is found by taking our period and dividing it by 4. So my period is 4 pi over 3 divided by 4. So same thing, we're going to keep our 4 pi over 3, change our division to a multiplication, and flip the 4, make it 4 over 1 so it's easier to flip, and then multiply straight across. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12, which this can reduce to pi over 3. So the interval of what we're going to count by is pi over 3. And also remember that since there's no vertical shift, it's plus 0, my midline is going to be at 0. So my amplitude can be 2 and negative 2. So let's go ahead and graph this by thirds. So 1/3, 2/3, so 1/3 pi, 2/3 pi, 3/3 pi, which is pi, 4/3 pi, 5/3 pi, and 6/3 pi, which is 2 pi. So that gives me my 0 to 2 pi. So let's start by graphing down the minimum and then go back up. So minimum, up, up, down, down, up, up, and connected in a curvy manner. And that is my graph. We could always check our definitions that cycles is I'm going to see 1.5, that's with 3 halves, 1.5 cycles between 0 and 2 pi. So let's say this is 1 cycle and a half a cycle. That's perfect. And 4 pi over 3 is how long it takes to complete 1 full cycle. 1 full cycle, 4 pi over 3. Check. Every definition works. All right, that's it. That's how we graph basic cosine functions. Now's a good time to jot down any questions that you have. And if you don't have any, that's great. I'll see you in class tomorrow.